Hello and welcome to the WriteCome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled, How Much Do You Want It? Now, as we head into 2021, I'm sure you probably have some goals. I'm sure maybe if you're in the self-publishing world that I'm in, maybe your goal is to write more books today. Maybe it's to get into fiction, or maybe it's to get more readers on your email list or whatever. Or maybe you're not in the self-publishing world. Whatever world you are in, I want to ask you, what do you want to achieve in 2021? Now, as I said in yesterday's podcast episode, you're probably maybe picking up maybe last year's, goals or whatever, you're dusting them off and you're bringing them into 2021. And, as I said then, maybe they are the goals that you had back in 2019, 2018, 2017, and you're simply just kind of recycling them over and over again. Now, if I was to ask you, as we head into January of this year, how much do you really want to achieve that goal? Now, for a lot of people, their automatic answer would be, yes, I want to achieve that. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to lose weight. And, while that automatic answer, does sound convincing and it does sound like you are up to the game and you're looking to give it 100% and everything, I want to ask you, why haven't you achieved that goal in the past? Now, I want you to think about the answers that your mind is giving you right now. Are they genuine answers or are they excuses? Now, your mind is probably giving you reasons, well, maybe the kids were at home, I didn't have time, my health wasn't great, or this or that, and you might come up with a load of reasons. Now, some of these reasons might be genuine reasons. Okay, you may be laid up in hospital or whatever, and there was a genuine reason that you couldn't get out and do what you needed to do. But I'm sure a lot of those reasons are just simply excuses. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up is at the moment I am going through Earl Nightingale's version of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, the condensed version. And one of the books he brings up in that is Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. It was a book Napoleon Hill had written many years ago. It's probably not as well known as Think and Grow Rich, but just from reading that book this morning and just going through the first kind of chapter, there was a story about a young lad. I'm not too sure he was living in poverty, and I'm not sure if he was black or white, but going by, by the life that he had, it didn't sound like he had much. Now, his mother had said to him that, I think she was trying to, she seemed like a woman that was kind of ahead of her time. She was kind of instilling a lot of positive talk into him. She was trying to build him up and everything. And she was telling him he could achieve this and he could achieve that. Now, she said to him that, you may be poor, but it's not because of God wants us like that. Something along those lines anyway, in that the reason we are poor isn't because God is holding us back, is probably because we are holding ourselves back. Now, she brought up the subject of her husband, and she had said to the son, your father has never been rich because he never had a desire to be rich. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. How strong is your desire to achieve what you're looking to do? Now, this man at the time might have had a strong desire to be rich. He probably seen all the people at the time who were probably living well, eating well, dressed well, had money to do all those different things. And he probably was working hard. Maybe at the time he was working in the fields or whatever. But whatever wages or whatever he was bringing back, it wasn't up to the standard that he had probably built up in his mind. So I want you to think about what you are looking to achieve in 2021. Whatever your goal is, how much do you really want it? How much effort are you willing to put into it? Now, while you might tell me a great tale and say, yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, I want you just to kind of stand back from yourself, maybe just over the next couple of days or in the beginning of the next year. Have a look at the actions you're actually doing. Are your actions, are they kind of mirroring what you said you were going to do? If you said that your goal in 2020 was to be a writer, well, then you should be writing every day. You shouldn't be watching Netflix. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be hanging around on social media. You shouldn't be doing the things that are actually pulling you in the wrong direction. If you were 100% committed to being a writer, well, then you would only be concentrating on the actions that would bring you towards your goal. Now, in my own case, I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. I can say the same myself. There has been goals that I have been trying to achieve year after year after year. And when I actually thought about what that lady had said to her son, how committed really was I to achieving my goals? You know, I probably gave it my all maybe for a week or two, or maybe even longer than that. But over time, I kind of tapered off. I probably had eased up on the actions that I was doing. I probably didn't show up as regularly as I as I should have to achieve those goals. So even though I did want to achieve that goal, there probably was a part of me, again, it's probably got to do with a lot of negative programming and all the garbage and everything that's in my head. But, you know, when I look at my actions compared to what I said I would do, they didn't match up. Now, I'm sure if I had have taken the actions, that I said I was going to do, I probably would be in a different place than I am right now. So I just want us all maybe to think about what we are looking to do. Do we really think we are going to achieve them? And if we are, well then what are our actions? Are our actions matching up to what we are going to achieve, say we're going to do? Even as I said, this past couple of weeks, I had been talking about my health and about the weight I'd put on. Now, anybody would probably look at me and say, well, I can't actually see that weight on you. But I knew it was there. I knew that my weight was going in the wrong direction. I was eating unhealthily. I didn't want to be one of those kind of chubby dads or whatever, stripping off at the swimming pool or whatever, or, taking a shirt off at the beach. I didn't want to be one of those people. Now, nothing against those people at all, but in my mind, I didn't want to be one of those people. But for the longest time, even though I would look at myself in the mirror, I would look at my love handles or whatever, I would look at the kind of belly that I was getting on, I never really was committed to losing the weight. I could look at it and say, yeah, I really need to lose weight, but I would never do anything about it. And it's only been over this past couple of months that I have showed up regularly. I have done a lot of walking in the morning. I have done running on the treadmill every day as well too. It's only from those actions that I am seeing my health go in the opposite direction. I'm knowing my waistline is going down, and the love handles are finally disappearing. But as I said, for the longest time, I would look myself in the mirror. I would probably have a little bit of disgust, and I would say to myself, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you letting yourself down? And, that kind of commitment I had to myself saying, well, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to knock all the weight off. It was really lukewarm. There was no kind of strength in it at all. And my actions weren't kind of, mirroring what I wanted to do. So because of that, then I was continually going along on the same route, being fat and not actually getting toward the body that I wanted to do. And again, too, even in my my positive attitude as well, too, for the longest time, I said to myself, I need to be reading more kind of, positive thinking work. I need to kind of work on my mindset. I need to work on my goals. I need to work on all the different things, because every year I would end the year back in the exact place as I had been the year before. Now, sometimes I might be a little bit further ahead, but I was never really ahead of where I thought I should be. Now, I'm not kind of bigging myself up and not saying that I have a huge amount of talent or I have this or that, but even in my own case, if I do look at what I can do, I didn't think my results matched up to what I was achieving. And again, that was because I probably wasn't doing as much work on myself. I wasn't, concentrating on what thoughts were going through my head, kind of filtering out all the negativity, maybe kind of not listen to that small voice that was telling me not to do it, to give up and not to show up, and, having no lack of confidence in myself. And that probably held me back for the longest time. But even though I said to myself, this is the year I'm going to be doing it, this is the year I'm going to make more money, this is the year I'm going to add more people to my email list, or I'm going to write more or whatever, I always seem to get back at the same place. And it's only this past couple of weeks, as I've been kind of driving as much positive kind of material into my head and trying to not listen to that little negative voice, that I found that my attitude has got more positive. I do feel changes in myself. I'm not as grumpy as I used to be in the morning. And there's things that don't trigger me as much anymore, things like happening in traffic and people cutting me off and all those different things. For a little while, that really used to trigger me, and the kids used to kind of look at me as if to say, have you really lost the plot of yourselves? Calm down. And you know where it is when somebody tries to tell you to calm down, it actually makes you more angrier. And it's only now when I can look back at myself, I can laugh, and I can say to myself, I was letting all those actions that were going on outside in the world influence me in what I was doing. It was probably destroying half my day, because I was still mentally having that argument with that driver in my head, even though it wasn't affecting that driver. It was affecting me and my actions and how the rest of my day planned out. But as I said, over this past couple of weeks, I have paid more attention to that. I have got up earlier. I am reading a lot more kind of positive material and trying to put a lot of more good stuff into my head to kind of undo all the negativity that was there before. So getting back to the kind of the subject matter of this podcast episode, I want you to think about what you're looking to achieve over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks, and, how much do you really want to achieve it? Now, as I said, your automatic answer is probably going to say, well, yes, I'm 100% committed, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But is that really the case? If you were really 100% committed, shouldn't you be showing up as often as you are? Shouldn't you be taking steps that are taking you out of your comfort zone? Shouldn't you be doing simple things like maybe setting the alarm clock for a little bit earlier, getting up a little bit earlier in the morning to get your work done before the life and distractions and everything else gets in the way and stops you from doing it? And if you are maybe allowing those distractions and all those different things to come in and all those excuses and all those reasons for why you can't achieve your goal, then you probably aren't as committed as you say you are. Your actions aren't matching up to your words. So hope that maybe helped somebody today. Maybe hope it's, enlightened you in some way. But as I said, when I came across that piece in that Napoleon Hill book, it did stop me this morning and just thinking to myself, was I really committed to achieve what I was looking to do? So as always, if you'd like to find more of these podcast episodes, if you do search for Writecome, that's WRITECOME.com, or if you'd like to reach out to me personally, you can send an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com, or if you're into writing and self-publishing and you'd like to find out more about what I do over on the Writecome site, you'll find some of the content over on Facebook, but the main site is on writecome.com and you'll find all the content over there. So as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecome.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.